Hi everybody, this is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show, where we watch old 16mm films, and I'm not in the archive today. I'm actually traveling to a film archivist conference in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But today I've got some films for you. We'll start off the theme. When I travel, sometimes I do themes because it's easier for me to program and figure out what I want to show you. And so today it's going to be food and drug integrity, which is a weird thing, but I've been working with someone who got some films from the National Archive, including ones about the FDA. And so I was like, well, I could just do a show about that. So we're going to start off first with a company, Nutrilite, which got busted back in the day for making false claims about their product and nutrition. This film is called From the Ground Up, and it's a promotional film. And it's showing you it shows you the process that they go through to from farm to processing these valuable, nutritious herbs into the product that is delivered to you. And this is a film that would be shown to, basically, it was a multi-level marketing thing. Nutrilite, that's what that was. And they got in trouble because they made a lot of fraudulent claims about what their medicine or what their supplements could do. And that was thanks to the FDA clamping down on them. The next film is called Integrity of Food, and it's also talking about what to do to keep food safe to eat and consume on a mass level. And then finally, the last film, let me get to the Reason for Confidence. And this is a film, again, about the FDA. But there are a couple of scenes in here they talk about drug testing on animals. And so I kept the narration, but I blurred out the visuals because we don't want to see that for lunch. But I thought the film itself was good, and I couldn't figure out a way to clip it out and still maintain a story. So please indulge me with that. I mean, yeah, I'll probably make the film available on its own on YouTube, and people can watch it if you really want to see that type of thing. But thanks for tuning in today. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up button. Watch other YouTube videos on our channel so we can get ad revenue to pay for storage, shelving units. You can also buy us coffee or also give us money via the Super Thanks button or on Patreon. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you, not live, tomorrow. Everybody take care. Bye.
More and more often these days, an interesting story is being presented to men and women in homes and offices all over America. Through a booklet, facts about vitamins, minerals, and Nutrilite food supplement. The person who presents the story is a member of your own community, your Nutrilite distributor. The factual story has its beginning in one of the loveliest spots in America. Approximately 100 miles east of the city of Long Beach, California, are some of America's most beautiful valleys. Here, the tall, majestic peaks of the San Jacinto Mountains tower above one of the richest valleys in the entire West. Acre after acre, apricots and peaches adorn the valley like living jewels. And here is the rich and hearty green of alfalfa. Many years ago, farmers in this beautiful area found that the soil and climate were ideal for raising the finest alfalfa. And only the finest will do here, because this is part of one of the famous Nutrilite products, alfalfa farms. But it is interesting to see what steps are taken to ensure such a high-quality alfalfa. A very important step is the preparation of a high-grade compost to use on the soil. This machine is called a fox chopper, After the top alfalfa has been cut for dehydration, this machine cuts a further portion of the stalk, this to be used as part of the compost. Raw materials used in the compost include, in addition to the alfalfa cuttings, animal manures, limestone rock, phosphate rock, red rock, and other mineral compounds. When the proper ingredients for a compost pile have been assembled, they are loaded by this power lift into a specially constructed mixer. As the materials are spread, they are thoroughly mixed to ensure the most uniform decomposition. After several weeks, when the compost has gone through a period of desired decomposition, it is turned. Again, the natural bacteria found in the various materials start the necessary decomposition. And in several more weeks, these piles of compost are ready for use. During these processes, the compost is kept moist at all times. When the compost is ready for use, it is deposited in liberal amounts on the alfalfa fields. The compost is used in conjunction with hybrid earthworms cultivated at the Nutrilite farms. The earthworms aerate the soil and help to work the compost into the ground. The effectiveness of the compost as a fertilizer is shown by the quality and size of the fruit and flowers at the Nutrilite farms, which have been grown with this specially prepared mixture. After being cut and thoroughly composted, the fields are irrigated by overhead sprinklers, and each field is thoroughly watered twice between cuttings. Good soil, special compost, proper irrigation, sunshine, and fresh air produce this top-grade alfalfa, now ready for dehydration. When cutting for dehydration, Nutrilite products takes only the upper few inches of the plant. The remainder is then cut for the compost piles. As the alfalfa is harvested, it is carried up by the conveyor belt and dropped into a wagon. Thus, the alfalfa is cut, gathered, and loaded in one operation without touching the ground, and is quickly taken from the field to the dehydration area. The process of dehydration is an interesting one. Let's follow it. The fresh alfalfa is put into this chopper and is cut into pieces small enough to ensure quick, easy, and efficient dehydration. The chopped alfalfa is then carried mechanically to this tray loader, which spreads the alfalfa on trays evenly and in the right amount. Workmen then load the trays into a drying rack and check to make sure the trays are properly loaded for dehydration. As the racks of fresh alfalfa are put into the dehydrator, racks of alfalfa which have been dehydrated under rigidly controlled temperature are removed. When the dehydrated alfalfa is removed from the dehydrator, it is emptied into a large hopper. It then goes through the hammer mill to bring it to a flour-like fineness and is poured from the hoppers into barrels. The select watercress and parsley, which are contained in Nutrilite food supplement, are processed here in the same manner. When a barrel is full, it is weighed and the weight recorded. And at the same time, the container is flushed with a harmless inert gas. The barrel is then sealed. The purpose of the inert gas is to displace air, which has an oxidizing effect on the alfalfa, watercress, and parsley meal. The number put on this barrel is one of the steps of constant control, quality control. This is but one of the accurate records kept even long after the finished product has been eaten, possibly at some far distant point. The alfalfa, watercress, and parsley meal is now ready for the next phase in the long Nutrilite process. Sealed, numbered, and recorded, the containers are sent by truck to the processing plant. Buena Park, California is a thriving community some 20 miles northeast of Long Beach. Here in Buena Park is the home of Nutrilite Products Incorporated. The Nutrilite plant is large and modern. The scope of activity here is indicated by the amount of space required, so that many phases of the Nutrilite operation may be performed within the confines of this one area. The size of this storage building gives us an idea of the activities of the entire plant. Materials used in compounding Nutrilite are stored here until the Nutrilite Control Laboratory has checked and approved their quality and potency to ensure that they meet the high standards set by Nutrilite products. This building is the extraction laboratory. Only Carl Renborg and his immediate assistants are admitted to this building, for these exclusive extraction processes are a closely guarded secret. Here is produced the exclusive Nutrilite concentrate. This is a concentrate chemically and mechanically extracted from alfalfa, watercress, parsley, and yeast, and is found only in Nutrilite food supplement. You should meet Carl Renborg. He is the man who developed Nutrilite food supplement. He has devoted many years to study and work in the field of nutrition. The Nutrilite concentrate, processed by methods known only to Nutrilite and obtainable only in Nutrilite products, was developed by Mr. Renborg. This is where the Nutrilite capsule compound, composed of the Nutrilite concentrate and added crystalline vitamins and vitamin concentrates, is mixed. All possible care is taken to ensure the highest quality finished product. The Nutrilite concentrate is placed in the mixer, together with the added crystalline vitamins and vitamin concentrates in proper proportion. A harmless inert gas is introduced into the mixture to prevent oxidation. After thorough mixing and blending, the Nutrilite compound is ready for encapsulating. The encapsulating process takes place here. This machine places empty capsules into a circular metal disc. The capsules are automatically uncapped. The machine then fills the lower part of the capsule with the Nutrilite compound, which has been fed into a hopper on the machine. The disc is weighed, and the weight and the batch number recorded by the operator. Thus, we see another step in the rigid control exercised by Nutrilite products. The filled disc is now returned to the machine for capping of the capsules, and the finished capsules are ready for packaging. Several times during the processing of each batch, samplings are made, and an extremely sensitive and delicate scale is used to ensure the correct weight for every batch of material processed. Thus, more rigid control. Samples also go to the Quality Control Laboratory for analysis to make certain that the Nutrilite rigid standards are maintained. Processing of the minerals is also done with great care. The minerals derived from alfalfa, watercress, and parsley by Nutrilite processes and the added minerals used in Nutrilite food supplement are here carefully weighed and measured. Another step in the rigid control. All the mineral ingredients are placed in this machine and thoroughly mixed. To ensure proper consistency, the mixture is spread on trays and placed in a drying room. Following the drying process, the mixture is placed in an oscillator, which sifts the material into a fine granular form ready for tableting. The mineral mixture is fed into a hopper in the tableting machine and is drawn down onto a revolving plate which contains indentations, each of which is filled automatically. Two sets of plungers work together to compress the mixture into tablet form under several tons of pressure per square inch. And here again is further evidence of Nutrilite's constant control. Throughout this stage of the operation, the tablets are sampled frequently and weighed on these very delicate scales. The weight and batch number are recorded, and samples also go to the quality control laboratory for analysis to assure that the high standards are maintained. When it has been determined that the mineral tablets and the vitamin capsules have met the rigid Nutrilite requirements, both are brought to this room for packaging. The filled capsules are emptied into hoppers, from which they are drawn by slotted trays into bottles. Thus the count is automatic. This operation also permits a last visual inspection. As the filled bottles move along the line, a special machine stuffs cotton into each bottle to ensure a firm pack. To guard against oxidation, this machine draws off the air and forces a harmless inert gas into each bottle. The bottles are then sealed airtight automatically by a machine that firmly affixes the screw cap. The bottles are now ready for labeling. Here the final operation takes place. Labels are affixed to the bottles mechanically, and the bottles are now ready for packaging. The mineral tablets are emptied into a hopper and then are fed into automatic counters. The counter releases the tablets into cellophane bags, which are then placed in boxes. A last visual inspection is made here also. The bottle of capsules and the box of tablets are packed into one box. And once again, we notice that each is identified with its batch number. The package is then sealed in cellophane, packed 1 dozen to a carton, and the operation at the Nutrilite product plant is complete. From the time the barreled alfalfa, watercress, and parsley meal left the Nutrilite product farms, through the extracting, adding of minerals, crystalline vitamins, and vitamin concentrates, measuring, boxing, and weighing, a constant check has been made and a constant control maintained. Headquarters for the complete control plan are the Nutrilite Products Laboratories, also located in Buena Park. The activity of the Nutrilite Laboratories is divided into research and control. The equipment here is some of the most recently developed and most unique in its field. The finest and most definitive mineral analysis is ensured by the use of the spectrograph, invaluable in the type of analysis carried on in the laboratory. The Nutrilite Laboratory is not only evidence of the thoroughness and care which is lavished on the preparation of Nutrilite food supplement, but it is a constant reminder of the unceasing efforts in the direction of further progress in the field of food supplementation made by this highly competent, carefully trained staff. Let's return now to the Nutrilite plant. Here we have seen the preparation of the Nutrilite food supplement, the ultimate destination of which is your home. Here in Long Beach, California, are located the offices of Meitinger and Castleberry. Meitinger and Castleberry Incorporated is the exclusive international distributor of Nutrilite food supplement. This building and the large, highly trained staff are needed to meet the tremendous demand for Nutrilite food supplement. These young women are handling the correspondence made necessary by the hundreds of thousands of men and women who avail themselves of Nutrilite food supplement. And in turn, the entire sales organization was made possible by the founders and chief executives of Meitinger and Castleberry Incorporated, Mr. Lee Meitinger and Dr. William Castleberry. These two men provide leadership and inspiration to the many thousands of distributors of Nutrilite food supplement. So we bring to a close the story of the preparation of Nutrilite food supplement, from its start in the alfalfa fields of the beautiful Hemet Valley, through the precise scientific compounding of the Nutrilite concentrate and the added crystalline vitamins, vitamin concentrates, and minerals at Nutrilite Products Incorporated, through the unceasing research and analysis at the Nutrilite Laboratory, through each step of rigid control, which assures you of the greatest accuracy and the highest quality. Nutrilite, truly a distinguished product among food supplements.
Could be a food plant or a food storage warehouse, receiving or delivering clean and pure food for our good health. The Food and Drug Administration presents Integrity of Food, a responsible concept of sanitation. We will review these prerequisites, because all of you working in this important industry have a key role to play in protecting food. Integrity of food implies purity and keeping food clean. So, our primary goal is the protection of all food products from any possible contamination or decomposition. A baker is proud of his bread when it looks good and it's clean. The wise baker, though, knows that bread dough must be processed in clean equipment. He also knows the flour, the sugar, the dry milk solids, all the other items needed are of top quality, that these ingredients were held in a clean and a protected storage area before use. Yes, there are many stops and goes which alert us. This modern control panel in today's milk pasteurization plant must be observed by an alert worker concerned with important sanitation control measures. So that's what this film is all about. We'll observe sanitation guidelines in the handling of food by machines and by people. Because you, whose job it is to process or store or transport that food, have important responsibilities. Yes, Today's distribution centers move lots of food and fast, but good sanitation practice is a must. For instance, this forklift operator in a warehouse should be as well trained in matters of sanitation as he is in the actual machine's operation. It has been said a sanitary plant is an orderly place. Orderliness leads to efficiency no matter where it occurs, in a warehouse, in a milk plant, or any other production operation. Plant cleanliness, an index of good management, is good business, but the practice of sanitation is also required by the federal Pure Food Law. As we observe food stocks moving through food plants, warehouses, and other distribution centers, we might well ask the question, what about the food handling equipment used in the movement of all this food? Is it clean? So, an essential rule in evaluating what is needed to ensure product integrity is to keep food handling equipment clean. In a food storage area, the cleanliness is important. Not only the pallet itself with care and its maintenance, but the floor area of the immediate environment in which palletized food is held until used. And to other fittings used in automotive milk transportation tanks for bulk delivery. Thus, we maintain the integrity of the food from the farm to the processing plant. In other words, the environment. Let's consider in some detail food storage, under an imaginary microscope, if you please. Possible contamination of food by insects is our subject. If are good, we won't find insect-damaged products if good sanitation practice includes reject all incoming contaminated food. This includes the immediate cleanup where spillage or contamination has occurred, at the loading platform, delivery truck, pallet storage position, whatever. Proper record keeping of rejected or contaminated foods encountered is also a must in good sanitation practice. For instance, will the material be destroyed? Where? How? Or will it be allowed to accumulate in some other area of the plant? Yes, refrigeration is a significant control in preventing decomposition of the product and/or its contamination. But we not only must maintain proper storage temperature, we must practice sanitation while we refrigerate. Meticulous attention is required in the cleaning and handling of equipment used in the refrigeration of food. This refrigerated milk storage tank and attendant sanitary piping is a good example. But it is also important that free circulation of refrigerated air not be hindered by overcrowded palletized stocks in storage. Let's review now an extremely basic rule we must apply in our study of the integrity of food, and that is, store food away from walls. It's difficult to keep this area clean. It appears clean now, but how long is it apt to stay that way? But the painted item code and pallet position lines in this storage area appear to be clean. This is sanitation in action. So, if we can store food in a clean work environment, up from floors and away from walls, and with orderliness, frequent and thorough examinations will be made. Yes, proper inventory rotation, the FIFO, first in, first out, is valuable warehouseman's jargon, and every good food storage manager is convinced of the virtue of this sanitation practice. So, real areas of a warehouse must be scrupulously clean, and all undesirable lots immediately destroyed. So, beware. Don't let it be the primary contamination center. Avoid positive approach in guarding against incidental chemical contamination of food is do not use or store poisonous chemicals near food. This means we restrict pesticide control measures to careful application of chemicals according to pesticide regulations. Let's review now another possible contamination associated with rodents, birds, or similar pests. First off, this tight-fitting door to the outside may keep them outside. But let's also take a look outside. Good sanitation practice means also clean grounds about a food plant, an area free of litter, waste, refuse, or other items that may constitute an attractant, breeding place, or harborage for such pests. But inside the plant, in food storage areas, fresh rodent tracks visible in flour dust is a dangerous signal, a breakdown of sanitation control. This is spots located by ultraviolet light are confirmed as rodent urine by further tests. So, a sample is taken by the sanitarian for the laboratory tests required. We must regard sanitation as a quality of cleanliness in storage areas if we are to maintain an effective pest control program. But let's say be a grade A quality product in storage. Or it may, within the meaning of Section 402A, 4 of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, be adulterated food. Quote, if it has been prepared, packed, or held under insanitary conditions whereby it may have been contaminated with filth, or whereby it may have been rendered injurious to health, unquote. Every person, and second, reflect positive attitudes in the practice of sanitation. So let's review what you may do in keeping food clean, a prime benefit of good sanitation practice. You can be proud of your immediate workstation, such as a clean pallet and a truly fine product in storage, and be conscientious about it. You can be methodical in what you do, or in simple language, make it a habit to proceed in an orderly manner, whatever you do. Be thorough in how you do your job, which means you take pains in being careful about details. So, you can evaluate requirements needed to ensure product integrity. Become familiar with these general rules, and you will help to make integrity of food a responsible concept of sanitation.
This is Johnny Taylor, age 11, a beneficiary of this marvelous age of science, technology, and automation. At this moment in time, Johnny Taylor is here, in this supermarket. Its hallmark, the shopping cart. From coast to coast, from border to border, this is how much of America shops today. The names of the stores vary. Supermarkets, drugstores, shopping centers, and just plain stores. The consumers vary too, for though there are some 200 million of us in America today, no two of us are exactly alike. Meet Nancy Taylor, an average American consumer, homemaker, wife, cook, nurse, home economist, and mother. Like all of us, Nancy, during this day and every day, will buy, use, or consume one or more of these products. Foods, medicines and cosmetics, and household chemicals. They are as close to us as life itself and cost us over $100 billion consumer dollars a year. Here's another thing we have in common. Every American can purchase these products with confidence because we are protected by local, state, and federal laws and by high industry standards. Enforcing our Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and its companion labeling law are the people of the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. They are an invisible part of the ordinary daily life of every American consumer, including Nancy Taylor and her family. This is no ordinary day for Nancy. Time is closing in on her. Johnny's twin brother, Jeff, is ill with a strep infection, and Nancy wants to get to the hospital before visiting hours end. This is Linda, the Taylor teenager. Her job at this moment is to take over the household and speed her mother on her way to the hospital. Over 2,000 years ago, Hippocrates, father of medicine, wrote, "Extreme remedies are very appropriate for extreme diseases." But from Hippocrates' time until a generation ago, doctors had no effective remedies, extreme or otherwise, with which to fight many of the deadly diseases that plague mankind. However, the discovery of the sulfa drugs and the antibiotics in the 1930s and 40s revolutionized drug therapy and marked the beginning of today's golden age of medicine. Three days ago, Jeff Taylor was a very sick little victim of a strep infection, fighting for his life. But this is the kind of miracle today's wonder drugs work, not only for the patient, but for his family as well. The drugs that work these wonders must be used with caution. Dispensing medication today is serious business. Busy as nurses are, this is one of the many tasks they perform with dedicated care. Doctors are busy too, but never too busy for a rewarding moment like this. Jeff's infection has responded so well to treatment that he may be able to go home in a few days. To Nancy Taylor, modern miracle drugs have suddenly taken on a new and very personal meaning, although she knows little about them and their built-in protection factors. Exactly what does overall drug protection add up to for the Taylors and for all American consumers?
The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires that all drugs moving in interstate commerce or imported from abroad must be safe and effective. Drug plants, large and small, are inspected by FDA. Drugs must be properly labeled with directions, dosage, and cautions so that the right patient gets the right amount of medicine the right way. Scientifically trained FDA inspectors check to see that manufacturers meet high standards of purity and quality, and that all the products are made in accordance with good manufacturing practices. The brilliant advance of drug therapy is one of the great dramatic stories of our time. The discoveries of tomorrow, which promise the control and cure of the diseases that still plague us, are being charted by America's research scientists. Thousands of new compounds are tested and discarded, and millions of dollars invested for every new drug that eventually reaches the public. The search for a new drug may begin in a university or an industry laboratory like this, where a chemical combination has just been designed. Let's follow this promising new compound, number 432. It has just been created, its chemical properties determined, and its purity established. Next step, testing on animals to determine the effect of the new compound on life processes. Does 432 affect the action of the heart? How does it affect the liver? What effect does it have on the nervous system? Extensive experiments are conducted on small animals to find the answers. Will compound 432 be useful in treating the disease for which it was designed, or any other disease? From the very beginning, whether the testing takes weeks, months, or years, data are carefully collected and compiled for the company's own evaluation and for later evaluation by FDA. Then more tests to determine 432's safety and its possible hazards and side effects. What will it do to blood pressure, to growth rate, to reproductive functions? If all the animal tests appear to show that the drug will be both safe and effective, it may now be ready for testing on human beings. But at this point, FDA comes into the picture. Before the drug is tested on humans, the law requires that the manufacturer must submit the results of his animal tests to FDA. The manufacturer must also submit his plan for the proposed clinical testing. FDA doctors, chemists, pharmacologists, and other scientists review and evaluate the manufacturer's animal research data and his clinical testing plan. In clinical testing, the drug is tried out by qualified medical investigators on carefully selected patients. If all goes well, more investigators will use it for more patients. First scores, then hundreds, then perhaps thousands of patients try the drug as the medical investigators carefully watch the results and record their observations. Their reports, including both good and poor results, are sent to the manufacturer. The data pile up, fills volumes. Then, when the manufacturer believes that he has convincing proof that the drug will be both useful and safe, he applies to FDA for permission to sell it. FDA experts may conduct their own research and testing to help them reach a decision. One question that must be answered about many new drugs is this: will the medication be harmful to a developing human embryo, an unborn baby? Chick embryos are used in one new test being tried. The pharmacologist injects the drug she is testing directly into the air cell of a fertile egg. The injected eggs, together with a control group of other fertile eggs which have not been injected, are put into an incubator. After 17 days in the incubator, the eggs are repacked and placed in the hatcher. Will the injected eggs hatch? If they don't, this may be a danger signal. If they do hatch, are the chicks abnormal in any way? How does the injected group compare with the control group, which didn't get the drug? Here are the chicks from the injected eggs, lively, healthy, perfectly formed. No evidence that the drug would be unsafe for unborn babies. This is the result of a drug which did produce deformities in chick embryos. It has retarded their growth and malformed them. These two different results suggest that chick embryos may be useful in speeding up the testing of drugs. In evaluating industry's data, if a scientist finds anything unusual that needs further clarification, FDA may do research on the drug itself. This pharmacologist is checking a manufacturer's test results on a proposed new drug for high blood pressure. The polygraph is used to record the blood pressure of the test animal. Before the drug is injected, the rat's graph shows extreme high blood pressure. Now the pharmacologist makes an intravenous injection of the new antihypertensive drug. How effective will it be? The polygraph shows a dramatic drop in blood pressure, followed by an adjustment to a lower level. Further study will be necessary to see whether beneficial effects will continue. Research like this enables FDA scientists to evaluate the manufacturer's data. And now this whole wealth of research, both animal and human, must pass final review by FDA's medical and scientific staff. The medical director will get the considered opinion of each expert: pharmacologists, internists, hematologists, pediatricians, obstetricians, psychiatrists, and other specialists and scientists as necessary. They must be satisfied that the benefits of the new drug will outweigh any possible hazards. If the drug successfully passes this review, the new drug application is approved by the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, and a new weapon against sickness and death is born.
Nancy Taylor knows nothing about this highly complex drug protection story. She feels only an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the miracles of modern medicine that helped her child. Jeff's quick recovery has lifted Nancy's spirits, but it hasn't stopped the clock. She's still pressed for time. Dinner still has to be prepared. Fortunately, there's modern time-saving technology to help her. Today's consumer can choose from thousands of food items, some of them ready to serve within minutes. But whether they take hours or minutes to prepare, Nancy Taylor can be confident that the foods she serves are safe, wholesome, and honestly packaged and labeled. What is her reason for confidence?
Well, let's consider this loaf of bread. It was made in one of the 100,000 food establishments subject to regulation and inspection by the Food and Drug Administration. In a bakery like this, industry's high standards are backed up by FDA's specific rules and regulations governing sanitary conditions. This FDA inspector is checking out flour handling equipment. The flour going into the hopper may be clean and free of any adulteration, but there are hard-to-clean areas where flour can be trapped and where insects could multiply. Scientifically trained FDA inspectors help keep bakeries like this trouble-free. It's also part of FDA's job to see that packaged food contains not only the amount stated on the label, but that the labeling is honest and contains other information that will help the consumer purchase wisely and well, including the common or usual name of the product, the net contents, the name and address of the manufacturer, packer, or distributor, a statement of any artificial coloring, flavoring, or chemical preservatives.
When it comes to man-made chemicals, on or in foods, science and the law again take over for the American consumer. It is a fact of life that no one can adequately protect the family food supply today without the help of science and the law. Like most of us, Nancy is unaware of this continuous shield of protection, although there have been moments when she has asked herself,
all these extra ingredients, chemicals I can't pronounce, coloring materials, artificial flavoring. What a complicated world we live in, and there's never enough time.
in this age of space and the atom, this complicated world is often less complicated for the younger generation. Rockets, space capsules, and moonshots are as much a part of Johnny's daily life as reading, writing, and the new math. And he has already shown an aptitude for chemistry.
Perhaps one day Johnny will work in an FDA lab like this one, where scientists are checking foods for pesticide residues. Market basket studies are made at regular intervals to check on the amount of pesticide residue in our food supply. This market basket includes everything an average 19-year-old boy, the biggest eater in the family, would consume in 2 weeks. The most advanced scientific equipment is used for these studies. Scientists, too, are especially trained in the latest techniques for pesticide detection. The results of these tests show that the amount of pesticide residues in American foods presents no danger to health. A pesticide must be cleared with FDA if it will leave a residue on any food crop. FDA sets a limit on the amount of residue permitted. This limit, called a tolerance, is based on extensive research data submitted by the manufacturer. A food can be seized and removed from the market if it contains too much residue. Like pesticides, chemical additives help to feed our expanding population. Today we use thousands of them, and every consumer benefits from their safe use. And, like new drugs and pesticides, chemical additives must be cleared by FDA scientists before they can be used. inspectors and chemists see that the safety rules have been followed. These same rules apply to colors used in foods, drugs, and cosmetics. Every color must be specifically permitted by FDA. Every batch, when necessary, must be certified for purity before it can be used. This includes colors used on vegetables and fresh fruits, like this orange, stamped color added. This color, in fact, is so pure and safe that a child can eat the rind. Like foods and drugs, all cosmetics must be safe, made of appropriate ingredients, and honestly labeled.
Who has had a harder day, Nancy or Sam Taylor? Only a time and motion study expert could say for sure. But this much is certain. Within the span of 3 hectic hours, Nancy has shopped, dashed to a hospital, and fed her family safe, pure, and wholesome food. And safe means safe for those with health problems requiring special dietary foods, and for youngsters like Todd, who may be more easily injured than an adult in robust health. The invisible circle of FDA protection surrounding the Taylor family is strong, but not infallible. There is always the human element to be reckoned with. Efficient new chemicals take the drudgery out of housework, but they can also bring new hazards into the home. Another law passed by Congress and enforced by FDA requires warning labels on hazardous household chemicals. Every healthy youngster is a pint-sized Christopher Columbus. More than any other age group, young children are victims of household poisoning accidents. They have no judgment. They're too young to read. No law and no act of Congress can protect an adventurous 4-year-old at a moment like this. Todd has found a new and different world to explore, where he can play, smell, taste. The label can only warn. Parents must do the rest. Sheer luck and good timing have saved the Taylors from having another member of the family hospitalized. The day has not yet ended for Sam and Nancy Taylor. Jeff expects his evening visit. Jeff Taylor is well on the road to recovery, but his visitor and fellow patient is not so lucky. He is a victim of cancer. He relied on the supposed virtues of a phony medical gadget, this little magic spike. He came for medical help too late. This fake medical device was supposed to cure him by giving off healing radiation. Actually, it gave off nothing. But Robert Fisk paid $300 for it.
FDA wages a constant war against quackery. Worthless or misrepresented devices are tracked down, tested, and court action taken against them. The $300 is the smallest part of Robert Fisk's loss. his cancer, with early diagnosis and treatment, could probably have been cured. His recovery now is doubtful. But each year, despite FDA efforts, Americans continue to waste their money, risking their lives on quackery and its products. Like cancer victims, sufferers from arthritis and rheumatism are prime targets of the quack. But unlike Robert Fisk, who waited too long, these fellow patients are getting the best help medical science can offer. There is a road back for many of these people. It is often time-consuming, discouraging, painfully slow. But in the end, it is the road back. Make no mistake about it. When miracle machines or pills are discovered to cure any disease, chronic or acute, everyone will benefit.
For Jeff Taylor, medical science has already issued and stamped his passport to the future. This has been a difficult day for the Taylors. A day of stress and anxiety, with a happy ending. Though they've been unaware of it, today and every day, from the first cup of coffee to the last, science and the law have been with them and with all of us, an invisible shield of protection for every American consumer.